As tensions continue on the border of Israel and Gaza, what about our border here at home? New data reveals 172 terror watch list arrests by Border Patrol for fiscal year 2023, which ended in October, making it the highest number ever recorded for the third year in a row. 18 of those arrests were in September at the southern border. Our next guest says there's a rising crisis at our northern border, too. And he's announced a task force to help beef up security. New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu joins me now. Governor, thank you for joining us. Explain to us the risk at the northern border and what you're doing to fix it.
Sure. Well, look, we all know that the vast majority of illegal crossings happen at the southern border. You've had places like Texas that have put in, over $1 billion of their own dollars because the Biden administration ignores it completely. What we looked at when we got into the data was when you see the number of individuals on the terrorist watch list, 5 times as many cross the northern border than the southern border. This has become one of the main gateways. We've asked the federal government for help. We've asked for ICE delegation agreements, more resources. We've simply gotten cuts. So we're putting our own resources to it, creating an alliance of law enforcement along our northern border to make sure that we can assist Border Patrol, given that they've been completely hamstrung with the resources out of Washington.
I want to follow up on that. You said 5 times as many estimated across the northern border, but the arrests obviously are far heavier down in the south. Are you saying there's that many more that get away at the northern border? It's almost that much easier?
No. 5 times as many individuals on the terrorist watch list.
Yeah.
Right? So while we're seeing all of this stuff happen overseas, we hear for calls for Day of Rage. We hear of a lot of more risk to our softer targets. We're here in New Hampshire, and as I think in most states, we're getting our security briefings on what other potential soft targets may be at risk as the violence escalates in the Middle East. The folks on the terrorist watch list are really using this northeast corridor as their prime way of coming over the border, as opposed to the southern border. So again, we've tried to bring this data to the Biden administration. We asked for an ICE delegation agreement, which basically allows my local law enforcement to have similar powers as Border Patrol to assist them in their job. That was rejected. They cut our funds from Operation Stone Garden. They've taken individuals from ICE and Border Patrol off the northern border. So we're just going to step up and do it ourselves. And at a minimum, we're going to make sure that folks know that if you are coming over illegally, if you are looking for safe harbor in the U.S., New Hampshire is not a place to look.
You know, a big part of what's going on in Congress, the original argument that started this ousting of the speaker was the idea of where border funding was going to go and what kind of priority it would be in the federal budget. We look at the border under President Biden, and it does look like an absolute crisis. It seems like under President Trump, things were a lot different. Was President Trump's border policy, did that get it right?
Oh, it got it more right than anybody in the last 20 years. There's no question about it. And I say that not just as a governor. I say that as someone who has sat with Border Patrol on the southern border, sat with ICE, sat with these individuals. All of this is driven by policy. It's a result of bad policy out of the administration. Yeah. And anyone in the federal government on that border will tell you just that. So policy actually really does matter. And when you're talking about individuals, when you're talking about potential terrorism, terrorist attacks, soft target risks, it's at a heightened level that we haven't seen in the past 20 years. So again, the Biden administration just doesn't have to just look at the problem. In fact, just showing up at the border would be a great first step, but it's so much deeper than that. The risks are so much higher than that. And again, we just, if a little old New Hampshire with our 58 miles of border, we can do what we're doing to kind of lead by example, put the funds where they need to be, and at a minimum assure our citizens that we're going to take this seriously and provide the protection that they need.
Well, I think our founders tell you there are no small states, just small populations, right? Listen, on this topic, if we zoom back out, look at what's happening in Israel and how we protect ourselves here at home. I've got 2 Republican governors taking action, 2 Democrat governors taking action. Yourself, you're doing all you can to secure the border and protect your citizens and the country from terrorists coming across our border. Governor Ron DeSantis down in Florida, he sends a plane to bring Americans home from Israel while he's running for president and being a governor. But yet Gavin Newsom's planning a trip to Israel. Kathy Hochul just went. It seems like one party's kind of stuck on PR here while the other party's getting things done.
Yeah, when I hear about Gavin Newsom and Kathy Hochul going to Israel, what are you doing? I mean, that's just political. That's just a political stunt in a time of crisis. There's absolutely no place for that. As a governor, I can tell you our job is 24/7, and we have plenty to do here at home, all 50 of us, especially the governor of California. My God. I mean, look at, that California is this amazing state with amazing people that have been completely left behind by bad policies and leadership. And you can't blame a single Republican for the bad policies that have come out of California. I've walked the streets of San Francisco. I've walked the streets of LA, the homelessness crisis, the trafficking, the drugs,
Governor,
the open-air drug dens that happened. And they try to ignore it.
You're getting into a topic that'll take us 10 more minutes. Maybe we can have you back on to talk about the juxtaposition from New Hampshire to California. Thank you for what you're doing up there, keeping our country safe from terrorists crossing the northern border. Governor Sununu, thank you for joining us.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.